Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we've got yet another exciting day because we're unboxing a new toy, and this is a little furnace that I've bought from Devil's Forge and has come all the way from Lithuania. I'm very excited to see what it's like and to set it up and use it on some of the projects we've got ongoing on To The Garage. Those of you who started watching the badge saga will get an inkling as to maybe where things are going because I've got this. I'm no expert in casting, using furnaces, etc. I have an engineering background, so kind of know what I'm doing, but not an expert in this. I have set up little temporary furnaces for smelting aluminium when I lived at a previous location, but they were sort of using fire bricks, a hairdryer, charcoal, all those sorts of things, and just lashing it up for the day, making do, getting stuff done, and then packing it all away again. This is the first time I've actually invested in anything that suggests I might do this on a regular basis. So I'm going to see what the Devil's Forge have sent me. This took, I think, 8 days from order to receipt, and I'm in the UK, and this started in Lithuania, and I'm pretty impressed with that. Really well packed, and the cardboard box has got a bit of a scuff mark on it, but other than that, no big issues. And I don't know if you can see, there's the top of our furnace, and it's all covered in cling film. And what I'm going to do, it's not hugely heavy, but it's a bit awkward. Just going to cut the box down and get it out that way. I think I need a new blade in my knife. And immediately exposed some instructions. I'm just going to check there's nothing about unpacking it. There shouldn't be, as they're inside. Nope. There's a card from Devil's Forge, and I'm going to put a link in the description below that shows exactly where I got this from, how much I paid, etc. Pointless telling you because 3 months from now when somebody's viewing this it's all changed. So link below, go to the description, probably click show more, and you'll see a little bit lower down how much, where from, etc. if this turns out to be something that's worth getting and you fancy getting one. Little strange. Here we have a paintbrush. Don't know if that's meant to be there. So far, found the instructions, we found a brush, we found this packet, again, all very well packaged, nothing to complain about there. Aha. So, this is the burner, which is one of the major features and maybe reasons for going after this particular company's furnace. Their burner gets amazing reviews for simplicity and the power it generates for a single burner. I've got to say that's quite aesthetically pleasing. So that's the business end. Nice trumpet. Don't know what that's made of, but as it's bright, I'm going to guess it's a stainless. Very heavy, thick wall tube construction. Inlet, gas regulator, and this is the choke, so you loosen that off, and then this is threaded as well, and when you turn it you reveal a gap, and it's that gap that lets the air in and means even with a nice heavy glove on you can adjust your temperature or the burn rate and just use that to lock it off, capture a very small gap. So that is the burner. Right down there is where the gas comes in. Looks like looking down a carburettor throat. What's next? A lot more polystyrene. Next little Christmas package. Refractory coating rigidizer for ceramic fibre blanket. Upgrading ceramic insulation with protective coating will provide extra strong protection and increase the durability of your ceramic insulation. Coat the ceramic fibre blanket before the first usage of our product. Insert fire bricks into the forge and let rigidizer dry. Mix 550 grams of rigidizer and 385 of water. In order to make the binding agent solvent absolute, stir it evenly for 15 minutes. After stirring, the refractory mortar should be used as soon as possible. It can't be stored for a long time. After coating, wait 1 day before using the forge. So, a bag of special hardening powder, basically some sort of ceramic cement. We've got, I want to unravel that because I know what that is. That's a strip of fire wool or insulation wool, just used for sealing the gap where your burner goes into your furnace. Some gas hose. I'm interested to see if this has got any markings on it, because if this was a UK purchase, then it would definitely have to say propane on it, and it would have to have the various specs and regs printed on there as well. But I'm not sure with Lithuania. And there it is. Propane, butane, and the spec involved. So that's good. So that means this is no cheapy bit of garden hose. Next, gas regulator. Redus. The ceramic probably explains the paintbrush. So now we're just going in to the regulator box. Lots of polystyrene peanuts. I'm going to have a big tidy up in a moment. It's an adapter to fit a UK propane bottle. I know that depending on where you are in the world, these guys change the adapter, so if you're not in the UK, don't worry. I know that they can supply you with any adapter you need. Instructions. 1, 2, 2 hose clips. Some sort of pipe adapter, not really sure. And oops, brass nut, and the rest of that is polystyrene. Come on out. Oh, static electricity. It's amazing when you're powder coating and a pain in the arse in every other respect. So we've got our Redus gas regulator. If you know your regulators, that might mean something to you. That's what's been supplied with this kit. Another little package. And in there we have a piece of fire brick, and that's for the base of the furnace to support your crucible. Devil's Forge actually supplying two quality standards. I've got the lower standard, if you like, in that the interior of this has this wool, essentially. It's a fireproof thermal insulating cloth. You can get them with a solid, I'm going to call it ceramic, probably the wrong word, but yeah, a solid material liner. It's more expensive. They do break and have to be patched up and fixed. It's easier to change a cloth lining. Cloth lining is cheaper and the ceramic unit is heavier. This is not going to be parked in one spot. I've got to better pick it up and move it to a shelf. No big deal, but all things that made me think, you know, this is not a production unit. I'm going to use it occasionally, hopefully regularly, but it's occasions. It's like once a month, something like that. So the lighter unit will serve my purposes. Right, I think, have we got all the bits out of the box? It seems so. So now it's time to lift that, and it is relatively easily liftable out of the box. And take the packaging off this. And there we are. It looks really nice, doesn't it? It actually looks like something that might belong in a kitchen or a barbecue or something like that. Let's have a bit of a closer look. So, piece of stainless steel on the front to make the logo up. Around this side we have where the burner goes in, and just 3 threaded bolts which enable you to pop it in there and centralise it, and then you use the strip of wadding that I showed you, it was rolled up in a package, to jam in there and make a decent seal. Underneath you have not so much feet as a couple of rails, just keeps the base off the deck. That's going to stop your driveway getting overheated and cracked, and probably stops this from buckling as well. 2 nice lifting handles, solidly welded on. What looks like a domestic hinge, you can see the hole still, and it's been welded on to form a lid. The outer is obviously a sheet because it's been butt welded down there. All looks pretty decently constructed. It's not overly heavy or thick. I think it's 1.6 the gauge of the steel, but remember that's not actually taking the majority of the heat. So hinge lid pulls up, and this is the material that's going to do the insulating for us. And this is kind of the difference between this unit and the one that's about 30% more expensive, heavier, all the rest of it, is this has got a soft lining, same inside. I mean, it's robust. It's got the feeling, in terms of density, of quite a tough polystyrene. But I guess that's why we've got the special powder to spread all over it and just give it a bit of a surface coating. You can definitely use it without that coating on, because this stuff can't catch fire and it's an insulator. I'm guessing it's just it gets tatty quite quickly, and this is going to give it a bit of a case. But if you did need to replace your lining, then you literally just whip this out, make a circle from a strip, a disc on the bottom and a disc with a hole in for the top. So actually maintaining it is a lot easier than the solid interior ones. Yeah, I like it a lot. So that is the kit you get from Devil's Forge, that being the business end. That's going to go in there with these screws undone a little bit and clamped down on a tube around here. That little packet of wadding is going to be used to wrap around this to make a decent seal. And we're going to have a length of hose off that going to this regulator, and then the regulator is going to be screwed onto a propane bottle. For some people that's a little bit of a barrier to getting involved in this. You don't want to buy a propane bottle or anything like that. Rather have maybe a charcoal based thing with a blower, but we're not on domestic gas. We live out in the sticks, so I'm looking across the driveway, 8 propane bottles, 47 kilo propane bottles at the moment by the side of the house. I've got propane, so that's not really an issue, and again makes this quite an attractive low cost way of getting into reasonably regular melting of metals. This thing will take you up to a reasonable temperature and allow you to melt things like copper, nickel, aluminium. Okay, so that's an unboxing on my Devil's Forge furnace. I'm going to put the link, as I said, in the description below to the exact make model of this unit. It'll also have the cost for your region, etc. So check out, I'll have another video coming up shortly showing this thing running, and we'll do some experiments with it and see just how good it is, and also review it over a bit of time after a few uses and see how well she stands up. So thank you very much for watching To The Garage. As always, good fun to talk to you. Even better fun to start playing with my new toy, which really does look like it's a high-end coffee machine at the moment. It should be in the kitchen. Please subscribe, keep your comments coming, love to hear from everybody, and share, pass on the message about this channel to your friends, and I'll see you again.